Rightio, for another rapid review. So we're going to be doing, so I get the pronunciation right, please.
Oude Beersale, Oude Gueuze. So Oude means old. Old means traditional, the traditional way. That means they have fermented in barrels for over a year and then blended 1, 2 and 3 year old barrels into the bottle, where it re-ferments again, just like champagne. There's only about 13, 14 brewers that still do this. It's the champagne equivalent of beer.
Oh, okay,
in a sense.
So it's secondary fermentation of the curds through it.
Re-fermentation. So lambic is a flat beer, and Gueuze is a sparkling beer.
Oh, okay, rightio.
And to make a Gueuze, you first need to make a lambic.
Yep.
Just like you need to make a baseline to get champagne.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's significantly stronger as well, isn't it? They're now at 6.5%. And is that a typical Gueuze strength? Is that normal? Or?
Yeah, it's around the 6% is typical.
So what aromas and flavours are you supposed to get in these kind of beers? Because I'm not very au fait with them. So, because if you ask me, I'd be saying salt and vinegar.
Yeah, it's earthy. Earthy notes, stinky, smelly.
Dave, you got apricot.
Wet dog and that sort of thing.
Okay. You're not really selling something.
Earthy.
So wet dog is the Brettanomyces typically, isn't it? They talk about the horse blanket and so on.
Yes, that sort of thing.
I remember having this one before now. Now, Flanders Red, something about Flanders Red, I get overpowering and quite horrific taste of burnt rubber, and it really upsets me because everyone loves it and I just cannot drink Flanders Red. I keep trying. Every time I get burnt rubber. With this beer, I get a really slight bit of burnt rubber.
That's what Benny and I were talking about.
But it's acceptable. But Flanders Red is really overpowering for me. And I've looked it up. I've tried to find out what that is and why I find it so challenging. But for me, it's all about that sour, natural farmyard yeast kind of flavour.
I will say, whilst it isn't my thing, it is flavourful. And it finishes quite nicely. Like the finish on this is really good. Clean, not crisp, but clean. It does have a lingering persistence. So when you're talking about wine, you're looking about the length of finish. It's got a good long finish, but it's also a pleasant finish. So it's not an unpleasant thing. Which, when you actually go through the discussion on what a lambic is, can be really off-putting to our traditional lager type beer drinkers. Let's go age a beer and then black blend it with another aged beer and that kind of thing can weird them out a bit. So,
and again, when you look at it, it looks like a lager, doesn't it? It looks like a normal, typical.
Another thing with Gueuze, they use hops, but it has to be minimum 1 year old. So they don't want the aromas. It's the anti thing of IPA. They want the bitterness, but not the aromatics.
Yep.
Which makes sense because it's going to be in barrel for a year, so you lose those aromatics.
And hops in Europe, from my experience, typically aren't stored in necessarily refrigerated or frozen environments like they can be here. They're stored more like a natural farm material in a sack, and they so they'll be quite yellow. They're like old and aged and dried
and
out.
they're the ones they use for Gueuze, right? Deliberately. They don't want those aromatics to interfere. But it's an acquired taste. This is a difficult beer to appreciate, and it's not everybody's.
Appreciate. It wasn't my thing, but I still
accidentally drank it all very quickly.
And that's the thing is, I quite like the finish to it, and I quite like, as I said, when I first got to it, and it was like salt and vinegar chips. And then the apricot came through, and then it started getting complex, and that's where the beer was actually shiny for in its complexity.
The length is quite.
Yep. So that's a quick rapid review on that one. So we'll go to the trivia quiz now, and I'll get everything set for the next part.